G'day guys, Josh here. Hope you guys have a great day. Welcome to another episode of Lacking Financial Education. I believe it's episode 6. And this episode is going to be more of a social aspect as well. Mainly from the fact that a lot of people believe, give a bit of a introduction here. A lot of people believe there's a matrix or a system keeping them down. And that's the reason why it's keeping them down. It's nothing to do with them. It's actually a system behind them that's making them earn bottom dollar. Some higher power that's actually making them earn bottom dollar. In some rare circumstances, that can be true, okay? But in most circumstances, that is a perceived thing, okay? So you perceive it that way. Therefore, you think you're under that way. Therefore, you put yourself under that way. Now, you'd be like, no, that's not right. That's not right. That can't be right. Or you can be like, yeah, okay, I can understand a bit. Maybe, open your thinking to that as well. And this goes for a lot of issues. The more you get it for one issue, it starts to expand out to more issues, and you'd be like, holy crap, this guy's right. Like, this guy's right. Open your mind to it. Open your mind to possibility. Open your mind to other avenues. Open your mind to always be versatile and flexible to whatever life throws at you. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about the matrix and why people, think that they're in a matrix or a system that puts them down. And we're going to refer you to a few people who promote this type of system, and you may be pretty shocked actually that promote this matrix sort of system here. So let's go to the first one, and the first one's very controversial figure, Andrew Tate, who goes, the matrix sends their agents. So if you don't know what this is referring to, this is referring to his little beef he had with Greta, which backfired on him spectacularly, to be honest, and he got arrested by Romanian officials. Now, a lot of people tend to use this as well to avoid personal responsibility and stuff like that. And I don't know how people buy into it either, but Logan Paul also did the same thing as well when he got called out with Crypto Zoo and stuff like that as well, saying that I've been targeted by the Matrix and stuff like that. And the main reason why I want to refer to that as kind of bullshit is that both of these people in this instance want to avoid the personal responsibility of what they've done. Okay, and this is what people kind of perpetuate if they want to avoid personal responsibility, whether it's a positive or a negative thing. Now, you may be like, hang on a second, wouldn't it cut the other direction where people feel like they're being enslaved and put down? Yeah, it affects them as well. It cuts both ways. So there are systems obviously in place, but they are not designed to keep you down. The expected design of a system generally is a minimalistic approach. Of course, there could be some bias in it to make sure the thing is able to operate. Now, people, use their own systems because people make their own systems as well, maybe with a bias to them or, to make it fair overall, or to make it, flexible, versatile so it can fit for all sorts of purposes. One example can be the metric system. So the metric system, is a unit of measurement, 1 centimeter, 1 millimeter, 1 milliliter, easily roundable figures. So you're not dealing with, inches, feet, yards, and other, old systems. You're dealing with a metric system, which is just basically 1 to 1,000, easy, simple numbers. You're not going through a textbook or whatever it is to guarantee what number is a number. It's 1 kilometer, 1 gram, 1 milligram. It's very easy and versatile and transferable through different volumes, kilogram measurements, height measurements, stuff like that. Very easy to do compared to, the old system, which I believe are called the imperial system, which is a very outdated figure, okay? So that's one system example. And you can see the metric system's not keeping anyone down, is it? No, it's just more versatile and flexible to explain things compared to other stuff as well. Now, the other system as well is maybe being at a job, a dead-end job, and there's been a lot of people who've been at that dead-end job as well, being like, I can't get anywhere in life. Now, in life, there's a lot of transferable skills, whether you can talk, whether you can work under pressure, whether you can manage multiple things at once. There are a lot of things that you can get through scenarios. So let's just say, for example, you're a fast food manager and you're like, I can't go any further above. Most of that is actually personal responsibility on yourself because you can go further and above. You can own, you can go out there and own your own business. You could go to a different workplace and stuff like that anytime. I know it is going to be hard and it is easier said than done. But there are a lot of different ways you can move out of it slowly and transition to a different type of work spot as well. You're not actually trapped. Sometimes you are actually legitimately not trapped, but you've built your mindset to be trapped. If you get what I mean? So you believe you're trapped, but you're not actually trapped, kind of thing. It's a perception based kind of thing. And that's why perception is very, very important to realize that, when you go into things, your perception is so, so important. Okay. So a lot of people perceive they're under attack by the system, but they're actually not under attack by the system. And anything that happens that confirms the bias puts them more and more into this thought process that they're trapped by a system that actually isn't trying to trap them or doesn't even exist, or it's just made up by their own imaginations. And it's crazy to see how this plays out. Now, everyone might be in here like, I've never been trapped in some kind of system. That's ridiculous. Okay, we've all been trapped in some kind of system at some point where we feel we were just not going to get anywhere. I'm not going to say I'm like some holy person that's never been trapped in the system. It comes with experience when you realize you've been trapped in the system, and that, realistically speaking, beyond physical limitations, of course, that you can do anything that you put your mind to. Okay, and that phrase may seem everyone's like scoffing off, you can't do that. You have a lot of different choices and a lot of different avenues that you can go down just by going out there and experiencing the world. So that's a lot of things you can have. You can even just go from being a fast food outlet person to operating into studying on the mean side, and then going into being a teacher and stuff like that. Really follow your dreams and stuff like that. And money, obviously money is going to be it can be a limiting factor as well. But there's a lot of different avenues you can go down to achieve where you want to be. Maybe get the second job. I'm not saying it's easy, okay? I'm never saying it's easy. It can be a lot of hard work. But that's what life is, the hard work to not grind yourself, to find yourself the right people, to basically go in there to build something beautiful. And a lot of people enjoy the company of people who are able to build things beautifully and understand the work and the pressure that goes into building things beautifully. Now, this is why I don't buy into the systems and structures that are keeping you down. And a lot of these times, people will try to avoid personal responsibility. Tate and Logan Paul, for example, they're trying to use their personality they've garnered and their fan base they've garnered to try and be like, nah, it's the Matrix that's after me, guys. Agree with me, okay? They've built out some weird sort of system, and it's a parasocial system, and also in Tate's case, it's a very abusive system, where basically, if you don't go by his system rules, you'll never get anywhere. Now, we'll go through and explain how the system works for Andrew Tate. So I think I've done a similar video as well with Tate. But Tate's sort of system is basically like this. He says a few things that are out there and deliberately entertaining to be inflamed and get himself built up on social media. And then what he does is the people who agree with his message come to his Discord, and he's like, you haven't seen a professor of all these Ferraris and stuff like that. You want to get rich like me, blah, blah, blah. And he puts all the flashy toys in front of people to entice people to be like, hey, you want to become rich? Come do my course. And that's a well-known strategy for a lot of get rich quick type of guys, is that they put Ferraris and stuff like that back in there and try to really flex their wealth. A lot of these people actually rent those Ferraris and also rent the mansions as well, which is quite ironic because they rent it off the rich people that are actually rich from building something, and they don't care because they're getting money. But this is what kind of these people do. And they use it, hustle, you can break the system and stuff like that as well. They basically grab onto the person's bias that they're trapped in the system, and this is the only way you can get out. And this is what you call a form of abuse as well, because abusers use this to say that you're the only person I can rely on. So what does this person do deliberately as well with Andrew Tate? Andrew Tate teaches you a system that's designed for you to actually lose. Okay, it's a transactional based system. He tells you to basically, you don't talk to women unless you want to have sex with them and stuff like that. A lot of inflammatory comments like that. He does, wind it back a bit, but most of the main course is you can see his supporters say this sort of stuff, is that, you can read a book called Why Women Deserve Less and stuff like that. Therefore, you're going to treat, women like nothing, not like nothing, but, lesser than men, which is ridiculous, to be honest, because every man and woman individually has their own skill set, whether it's going to be positive or negative. Basing everything on just a class and then using that statistic elsewise is very irresponsible when judging an individual. And they use this transactional based absolutist stuff where that you only talk to a person if you want something from them and stuff like that as well, where realistically that does not bode well socially, because when people know that you're just after one thing, they can basically manipulate you. At the same time, they also won't associate with you, knowing the fact that you only come to them when they need something. Okay? You won't chill down with them, have a beer with them when you have the time and stuff like that. They know you're that kind of person that's going to be in there only if you want something. And the people like that often don't get generosity or stuff given to them. The people who are there regardless and there to have a good time, to have a meaningful connection, will get more stuff done than a person who's just out there for something. So you can see how the system designs you to lose, okay? And you keep losing, and then Tate's like, oh, he can win more. Like, how can you win more? And he wants you to keep paying his $50 fee over and over again, while in the meanwhile, you keep losing and losing and losing, and you've dropped all your connections because you say these outlandish and crazy things, which are discriminatory, not even true, and you say it in a manner that's either black or white, okay? You don't understand there's a large shades of grey in life. You just think it's black or white. If it's, there's no grey, just black and white. And you may be like, oh, that never happens. Like, that's what the system you are being taught. And it gets to a point where the only people you associate with are the people in the Andrew Tate group, and you keep your $50 to keep that community running, okay? So pretty much, you are feeding money to him for him to become more profitable. You will never become profitable, okay? The system's designed for you to lose and for him to win. Now, if you don't understand that, it's because the first point is that you don't have something in life for to aim for. So you wanted someone to give you an instruction book to do so on what you want to aim for in life. Okay? There's so many self-help books that do this, okay? That say, you need a goal to aim for in life. But the problem is, in life, is that you don't know what your goal is. You don't know what you want, okay? It's the most difficult thing. So a lot of these people come out here being like, this is the goal of life, to be rich and stuff like me. And they promote themselves. Andrew Tate's done this, okay? Like, that's exactly what he's done. And everyone goes in there thinking, hey, it's my goal in life to become rich and wealthy like him, not realizing they're going into a system where they're never going to be rich and wealthy like him, okay? Because nobody decides what your life objective is but you, okay? Whether you want to be, a person who basically cooks for poor people, or want to be a person who flies people around the world, or whether you want to be a person that manages other people's money like me, for example, and, try to maximize the happiness that they have in life, and really get to know more people and stuff like that as well. It doesn't have to be money, okay? I know this video is a bit long-winded, but I'll leave you off this one quote in particular, okay, that resonates with me as well. Life is like a piece of string, okay? It's as long as you want it, more enjoyable as you want it, and you don't have to follow anyone's path to get there, okay? Hope you guys have a good one, and see you guys later. Bye.